Hey,
We are live.
Charlie.
What's up, man?
What up, dude? Long time no
Nothing.
see.
Yeah. How was work today? How was work today?
Oh, it was actually pretty cool. It was all right. You know,
Yeah.
busy, busy, busy. Let me get my stuff all set up here.
Well,
It
why
was
are
a
you
little
doing
bit.
that? Why are you doing that? I like to since we're on live, I like to first of all uh, reach out to a lot of our viewership and let them know that number one, we appreciate your loyalty, the fan base that has been with us every single or whenever we had uh, the segment of the Mel and Charlie show. So we'd like to say thank you, and that soon we'll be winding down as COVID comes to a completion. But a lot of you have expressed that you want us to stay on. So write into us. Let us know if that truly what you want. We can do it. Once or twice a week. Whatever you folks want to discuss, just let us know. Just let us know, and we'd be more than happy to oblige because we truly have built up a friendship out there. So thank you so much. And yeah, what you folks can't see is Mel on the other side acting crazy, acting crazy right now. So anyway, that's all I had to say. Yeah, and he forget his microphones. They're dead right now. Forget to turn on his microphone.
All right, all right. Well, anyway, tonight, we get Randy Harakal. Randall Harakal is an employment lawyer, specializing in employment law. A lot of you guys been sending questions about the unemployment, and employers have been asking questions about their rights as far as essential and non-essential, and so we're gonna have him uh, answer a lot of you guys' questions. And I know some of you might be thinking, "Oh my God, one lawyer." This guy knows his stuff. He knows a lot about the COVID impacts on unemployment. So hopefully you guys hang around because it's going to be an interesting. I don't know if he'll talk about doodle boys or anything like that. Probably not, but but we'll try to get him to lighten up a little bit. But
No,
like
he's
Charlie was saying, yeah, I don't know. We can be. I don't know how long this thing will last. I wanted to come on a little early today because I wanted to talk about today's Senate committee meeting that was just, it's just proof that in fact, I saw Tyson ask the question over here if we have the skill set to do this show, because that was one of the senators just asked the guy, man, do you guys have the skill set to do this or what? Because they're not doing it. We're having this false sense of security that everything at the airports are being done as they said it would be. Remember when they came out with this whole plan about, uh, you know, verifying everybody and everything, and it's not happening. It's not. There's some pukas, there's some gaps, and some visitors are sneaking through. So you know, I'm not comfortable with that. And one of the questions today was, right now we have about 500 passengers, 400 passengers or visitors or travelers, I should say. See, it doesn't matter if you're local or you're a visitor. The fact that you're coming from the mainland is an issue. I don't care if you are a resident in Hawaii, you still get the same chance of bringing that stuff from the mainland. So what's going to happen? Yeah, Tyson is saying, haha, bro, a DOT guy got hammered from favela because he couldn't answer the simple questions. And the fact of the matter is this: we have people; those numbers are going to double and triple and quadruple as these flights to Oahu increase. They don't have it down right now. How are they gonna handle it when the numbers double and triple, which is going to be in the next couple of weeks? So it's frustrating. Again, the trio of favela, well, actually, Kidani and Mercado Kim and De La Cruz, they're asking the tough questions. They're not getting the answers, and it's the same response, committee meeting after committee meeting after committee meeting. So um yeah, Tyson is saying this guy kept saying that the self quarantine is an honor system, and it's not working. 4 people got arrested in Honolulu, one got arrested here on Kauai last night. It's not going to stop. More visitors, more arrests, more chance of this virus spreading. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on that, Charlie, because I needed to get that off my chest.
yes,
Hey,
yes.
don't forget, the guy is in the waiting room. So he's
Yep.
going to be coming on in about a minute. So please hit the share button, start a watch party. Let's get this thing going. Yeah. And the shirts. I don't know how, well, so that you guys know, the Doodoo Boy shirts are going to be ready very shortly. It's nice. It's so cool. So you guys got to stay tuned because we're gonna announce it on the show when when we'll be taking orders. But this shirt here, we're still trying to get these shirts out. $10. The Doodle Boy shirt gonna be 15, only because
Get
we want to raise
stains.
more money.
Get stains. Get stains.
So it'll be $15, but it's gonna be one hell of a memento for this crisis. So anyway, but right now we got this one's here. $10. Send me your amount and the sizes. I'll send you the link, PayPal, Venmo, whatever it takes. Just $10, guys, and the shirts are flying out. We've broken the $1,000 barrier. Now we're gonna go for 2,000 and maybe 3,000 with the Doodle Boy. I don't know, but just thank you guys again. Hit the share. Oh, Sue Canojo is on. Sue, thanks for your hard work today to get that scrub back to the mainland. I call him a scrub because he came here homeless, had no intention of leaving. His whole plan, I spoke to the booking officer at the police department. This guy was going to be here and just live here homeless. That was his plan. And he got caught. Sue was a big part of getting him back to the mainland. So thank you, Sue. Appreciate what you guys are doing collectively with all of the agencies involved. So without further ado, we will bring in Mr. Harakal and see how this thing goes. And there he is, Mr. Randall Harakal. How do you say your last name, sir? Okay.
It's connecting to the audio. There you go. Hey, Randy. Randy, can you hear us?
I always wonder if they know we're watching them when this segment, you know, when they're trying to get the audio working. I wonder if they know that we can see them.
Randy, you can hear us?
He looks so serious.
Randy.
Let me try to unmute him on my end. Oh. He probably just figured out, oh, yep, they can't see me. Where is he? Where is he?
There you go. Hey, Randy.
Unmute, unmute. Can you unmute?
Yeah,
Hey, Randy, can you hear me?
let me try to text them.
Thank you guys for your patience. Thank you guys for your patience. This guy really looks serious, man.
Nah, he's a good brother. A good brother.
Are you texting him?
Yeah, I just finished.
Oh, okay. That's probably why he went out. He's probably answering your text right now. That's why his camera went off.
Oh.
Anyway. Kirk Correa, Island Athletic Tees is his company name. And show him the love. You know, he has generously donated the shirts and all the design work and the printing. So again, he's not taking a penny. So yeah, Island Athletic Tees, Kirk Correa, thank you very much. While we try to get Randy Harakal back on. So if you guys have any questions, employment questions, employee questions, employer questions, let us know. Put it in a chat box so we can ask him the questions. There he is. Okay, I cannot unmute him. His microphone is not showing up here.
Oh, then you know the second when he joined us,
Mm-hmm.
it asks you if you're gonna go on audio. You know that thing? It's gonna ask you if you go on audio. I'm gonna tell him to leave and come back, and then he's gonna have 2 steps.
Okay.
So you
What does it say on the shirt? It's a surprise. It's a surprise, guys. It's a surprise. We're going to unveil that shirt when they become available. Charlie and I we have seen the design. So, oh, there he is. Now I hear him.
Okay.
Well, I hear him. Okay, now his camera is off.
There. Randy, can you hear
Okay.
us, Randy? Randy, can you hear us now?
Well, Charlie, you be the attorney and I'll ask you the questions. How's that?
Hey, let me
I'm not sure why. So sorry, everybody. So sorry. Hang tight, hang tight, hang tight. We are going. Oh,
that's me. That's me. On my end. Let me mute mine. Hey, Randy. Randy.
you ever seen anybody talking to a computer like that, a keyboard?
Hold on. What?
No pre-sale, no pre-sale. We're going to, I'm reading the comments here. We got to do a sound check. Yeah, I know. Obviously, we're doing the sound check right now. Yeah, no pre-sale, no pre-sale. I have a hard enough time keeping track of these shirts. We've sold quite a bit of these shirts. And like I said, all the proceeds Hawaii Community Foundation, so it's a great cause. I meant the shirt you're wearing now. Oh, what about the shirt I'm wearing now? Here we go. This one, yeah, you just got to just private message me how many you want. It's $10 a piece, $10 a piece. Please, on the pre-sale. No. The suspense is going to, so who will make the Doodle Boy shirts? Yes, it's going to be made by the same guy that make this one. Is Harakal coming on tonight? No, he was on a couple of nights ago. We definitely will bring him back though. Let's see. Charlie's trying to get this guy to work his Zoom. I'm not sure. He's having a little difficult time. I don't like that answer. Hey man, it's like Apple, you know, they're gonna unveil the new iPhone, but they don't tell you until it's ready. Hope you guys have more than one shirt. Yeah, we have more than one shirt. Kirk was good enough to give us more than one for the but we don't sweat, you know, we don't sweat. Oh my God, how much is the towel? Kirk said he did. Oh, here he comes again. Here we go. Let's try. Keep your fingers crossed. Keep your fingers crossed. He's connecting to audio. Connected. Why can't I hear him?
Hello.
Oh, okay. Now we can hear him. Was that Randy or was that Charlie?
This is me.
Ah, I love it
Where's
when
Charlie?
a plan comes. Charlie
right
is up there. Can you see Charlie?
There you go.
What?
I cannot
There
hear
he
you,
is.
Charlie. All right, now we can hear Charlie. Randy, thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate you taking the time. We've been doing this stuff every night now. We've been bringing on all these interesting, important people. So you qualified. So we got you on tonight. What we want to do is basically, for all of you, we already introduced you once. We'll do it again. Randy is a labor attorney, labor law attorney, specializing in labor law. And you okay, Randy? Okay, there we go.
There you go.
So we'll turn it over to you and give us an overview. What's happening? What has COVID done to employment here in Hawaii? Employers, employees. We get a lot of questions that we cannot answer. A lot of unemployment questions. But the fact is, there's no place for these guys to go. They cannot call unemployment. They cannot call anyone. So we'll turn it right over to you, my friend, and you can share.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. We can hear
Okay,
you,
I
bro.
can hardly hear Mel. I hear you pretty good, Charlie. But I can hardly hear Mel.
Yeah, Mel's muted. Okay, yeah, Mel's unmuted right now. He's mute. Okay,
Go ahead, my friend. Go ahead, my
Okay.
friend.
Ha! Overview. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. Everybody's all puck up.
Hey. Yeah, we go. Watch. Okay. I was just telling Charlie, I said, man, and I was telling Khalil Perez, I said, I don't know how fun this guy gonna be. He's a lawyer in employment law. Hope we can retain the listeners, but you're off to a good start, Randy. Keep it going, buddy.
I'll be honest with you. I have friends that work in the government, went to law school with, and I have friends that are practicing law all around the nation. And we have conference calls and everybody's saying, now what? Nobody knows. There's no rules and regulations written. They just issued this law and say, okay, try this. And that's what's going on. With the state was way behind the curve. I don't know if you saw, I posted on Facebook the other day, there's a photo of a computer from about 1960. And the room was all in shambles. They said, this is the state of Hawaii unemployment office. And then they showed another video, which was the porn site, which showed about 4 million servers in an air-conditioned light blue room, and saying, this is the problem with Hawaii. They don't know how to run porn.
Okay. Before we go on, people, hit the share button. It is going to be fun. Hit the share button, start a watch party. It's going to be fun. And just so that you know, Randy, the governor comes on after we're done. He comes on and watches this on the replay. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. I
Well,
assume so. I
Everyone's
don't know.
blaming the governor, but you can't blame the governor. The system was faulty because previous governors and legislators should have spent the money and upgraded the servers, the computers, and the software so that they could handle this. I mean, other states aren't having this problem, but Hawaii isn't. Our equipment is just antiquated. It wasn't made to handle this many unemployment claims. Now, some other states are having the same problem. They can't handle, I think it was in Wisconsin and Michigan, I saw, they were shut down too. So people stormed the Capitol today in protest saying they want their unemployment checks. They can't get them. And then another group stormed the Capitol, says, open everything up so we go back to work because we can't get our unemployment checks.
Okay. Randy, do me a favor, Randy. Can you turn your phone into landscape? Turn your phone landscape and then just pull away from
this way.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Okay, now we can see you. And then you don't have to go up close because you're coming in loud and clear. Okay. There you go, my brother.
Okay.
Perfect.
I can hardly hear you guys.
Okay. But we're gonna let you perfect. We're gonna let you talk right now. Some people are asking, Randy, if you can hear this, some people are asking right now, what should they be prepared for? With the system being, like you said, antiquated, the way it is right now, everything is all mumbo jumbo. From a legal standpoint, what should the people be really targeting towards? Because some of them worried about the economy, some of them worried about, in fact, some have asked, if we got to go back to work, but the company hasn't taken any precautions. I mean, are we forced to go back to work? Those kind of other questions that some people need help on.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about being called back to work and the employer hasn't taken any precautions. OSHA would cover that. If you're forced to go back to an unhealthy condition, working condition, or a fear of getting the virus, you have to call OSHA. Now, OSHA is going to have the same problem the unemployment people have. They're going to be swamped because I've been telling people, call OSHA and file complaints saying you think the work facility is unhealthy and have them come in and investigate. But what that's going to do is they're not going to open.
Right.
The other thing is you can go to work, and if you get sick, then you go back out, you go on work comp then. Because the employer forced you to work in a healthy condition and you caught the COVID virus, you go out on work comp. So you collect work comp benefits which are better than unemployment benefits. But you're going to be sick. Yeah. Nobody knows what the employers don't know what to do. They don't even know how to disinfect their places to make people safe from the virus. They have no idea.
Is there a standard protocol that should be in place so that employers standardize across the state, that say whenever, for instance, whenever business shuts down, closes for the day, they should start disinfecting again? Should they have some kind of protocol?
There's no protocol in place. OSHA would have to pass rules and regulations to tell employers, here's what you do to prevent people catching the COVID virus from your workplace. there is nothing. Nobody knows. I mean, you talk to doctors, you can talk to 4 different doctors, you get 4 different answers on how to prevent it. Nobody knows how to prevent it. Some people are saying that it's coming back. People are catching it a second time. And there's somebody that was that in China that caught it a third time.
Yeah, so it keeps on going. It's a continual rebounding effect. So
yeah, and the virus, from what I understand, is mutating. It gets different strains. So when that happens, nobody knows what to do because they don't know what they're fighting.
okay. So from a legal standpoint, Randy, aside from telling the people what they should do by going to OSHA and those kind of things, should they be getting themselves an attorney if they feel that maybe something might be coming down the pipe, or they should have a wait and see attitude until this thing kind of everything get a handle on it, or for whatever reason? Right,
because getting an attorney now is not going to be useful unless you have something substantial to raise. Fact that the employer says, come back to work, I got a job for you. And if you don't go back to work, then you can lose your unemployment benefits because you turned down a job, unless you have a good cause to turn down the job. And that could be because the place is unclean. But you're going to have an expert come in and say, okay, I checked the workplace and it's unclean. So it's, you just can't go say I think it's unclean. You got to have an expert witness come in and say, oh yeah, the virus is here. And I don't know where you're going to find those. I don't know if any physicians are going to do that or who they're going to bring in. Nobody knows, Charles. I'll be honest with you. Nobody knows what to do.
Randy, we have a question. We have a question about the WARN Act, WARN. Maybe you can turn up your volume on your phone. Can you turn up your volume on the phone?
I have it up max right now, so I don't know.
Really? Huh.
Okay. I don't know how to make it any bigger.
Someone's asking about the WARN Act, WARN Act. Does it apply to laid off employees?
Yeah, that act applies to employers. Hawaii has a WARN Act, and then the federal government has a WARN Act. Hawaii covers any amount of employees. If you have 2 employees, you're supposed to give them notice you're going to do a layoff, except if there's an emergency condition and you have no time to give a warning. So that's the exception. So WARN won't apply here to the virus layoffs if the employer had no chance to prepare for it. Like if you're having an economic layoff, that's different. You're going down the tube, so you can tell, look, 30 days, 60 days, I got to shut this place down. But with a pandemic, you don't know. So everyone's playing. So from what I understand, there's going to be exemption for all these with the virus that are shutting down. They're not going to have to give the 60-day notice.
Thank you. I've been to some country sandwich shops where the employees have no PPE, and also the tourists in line have no PPE. I don't know if that's an employment question, but are there any requirements for employers or employees to be wearing masks or gloves or anything like that?
All we got right now is, governor's order, mayor's order, wear your mask outside, but there's no legislation. So those are executive orders. Now they have the same force and effect as a law, like a city and county ordinance or a state statute, but there is not. It's just executive orders. So if you violate it, can you be fined or arrested for something like that? It's a good question. Constitutionally, I think maybe not. The only exception is emergency situation where the government has to take away your civil rights because of emergency situations that are life or death. The government always has right when there's life or death to take away your constitutional rights. The question is it life or death? For some it is, for some it isn't. There's going to be a lot of lawsuits about this when this is all done.
So I guess what you just said there, Randy, is that pertaining to those individuals who've been stopped for violating the quarantine, visitors coming to Hawaii, those who have gone outside of the scope, which they were told to stay within the constraints of going to their accommodations and staying there. They got caught going someplace else. They got warned. They got caught again. They got arrested. You're saying under this order, is it life or death, or
That's
What-
going to
what-
be the key. The government has you have constitutional rights. Everyone has constitutional rights, the Bill of Rights. But the government always has its police power that it's inherent. There's no statute that talks about it. But the government has police powers to take care of for the better of the whole. So if you're a bad guy and you're committing crimes, the government has the right to pass laws saying that's a crime and we can arrest you for that. Even though you have a constitutional right to free speech, you don't have a constitutional right to yell fire in a crowded theater, something like that, because the courts have always said no, that's wrong. Yeah, it's a constitutional right, but to protect the whole from the few, you can't say that. And that's what this is going to be about. These guys, I don't know how these people are getting in here, but they fly in, and then one of my clients called me today. She was called by the city and county saying that she's renting out her house for short-term rentals. And I said, "Are you?" She says, "No." She said, "I don't know who this person is, but he used my business address saying I'm renting to him when he got off the plane." So the cops came to her place and they wanted to check. So she left check, and she said, "What's going on?" I said, "People are using anybody's address that may have a business that could be a possible place to stay, or a bed and breakfast, or was a bed and breakfast. And they're giving that out when they come here. So when the cops go to look, and when they check, there's no permit and there's no bed and breakfast being operated, but that's how these people are getting in. They're using old bed and breakfast advertisements on the internet for Honolulu, Kauai, whatever.
Well, we have a woman on the call right now that's actually here that witnessed that in her neighborhood. Cops showing up at the neighbor's house because somebody used their address. It's happening here, quite common now. They just pick a legitimate address or a real address, and they're putting it on that form. And these guys at the airport are letting them go through the line. And I think today at the Senate committee meeting, that was a huge discussion. They are not verifying the addresses of the accommodations before they let them leave the airport. They can do it for a hotel. They can't do it for a so-called
Bed and breakfast.
residential
Well,
TVR
like my
bed and breakfast,
client,
which is all illegal right now anyway.
Yeah, my client had a bed and breakfast that was being run by her friend, and they shut it down. March 1st, they shut it down. But the ad on the internet says we are no longer renting out short-term bed and breakfast. It's closed until further orders from the governor or the mayor. And this guy still used that address anyway to get out of the airport. Now they don't know where the guy's at. He's running around the island somewhere.
And that's been our thing. Imagine if, and I'm sorry for blowing up in your screen, but I got to get close to my mic. Imagine if that guy's a carrier, a COVID positive, and running around and potentially infecting some of our residents. And that the state doesn't get it. The state has acknowledged today at the Senate committee meeting that there's no 100% safety net as long as we have a self-quarantine, which leads me to a question. It's really a constitutional question. I think the Attorney General is researching this right now. Can the state, and I'm sorry, we're getting away from the topic of employment, but can the state set up a mandatory isolation facility or quarantine facility, such as a closed down hotel or the UH Manoa dorms?
Did you get to hear that, Randy? Can the state right now order a mandatory government-run quarantine facility, whether it's a hotel or whether it's the dormitories at the UH? Do they have the right to do that?
Okay, again, you got constitutional rights. Does the state have a right to do something like that? Right?
Yeah.
I think the state's position is that the threat of the threat is life or death. I'm not sure. Again, some court's gonna have to make that ruling at some point
And
down
like
the
I
road.
just said, it's a problem.
Yeah,
You know,
Okay.
again, you got constitutional rights. Does the state
Right.
have a right to do something like that?
So-
what major concerns have you been hearing from basically
Okay, guys,
employer?
what's working is,
I think the state's position is that the threat of, the threat is life or death. I'm not sure. Again, some court's gonna have to make that ruling at some point. Like I
What's
just
that?
said, That's a problem.
hey, Mel and Charlie, I have you
Yeah.
on Facebook and I can hear you fine.
What-
But it's delayed.
What major concerns have you been hearing from basically?
Okay, guys,
employer-
what's working is,
Yeah, Randy, it's gonna come over delayed. That's the only problem you're gonna have.
Hey,
You-
Mel
you-
and Charlie?
I know, but I
Yeah.
can't,
Facebook, and
Yeah.
I can hear you fine.
But it's delayed.
What major-
Yeah, Randy, it's gonna come over delayed. That's the only problem you're gonna have.
Hey, Mel and Charlie?
I know, but I can't.
Facebook, and
Yeah.
I can hear you fine.
But it's delayed.
I don't know why I can't hear you on my phone. I don't understand.
Randy, it's gonna come over delayed. That's the only problem you're gonna have.
Mel and Charlie? I know, but I can't. Yeah. Fine.
Okay.
Okay. Let's try again.
Yeah, there you go. So I guess what Mel was asking is whether or not, what kind of cases have been coming towards you regarding surrounding COVID, if you've had any recently, aside from the one you mentioned.
The biggest one, I had 36 inquiries on unemployment benefits. People send me emails or they write to me on Facebook and they're just saying that they can't get their information. They can't get information. They can't contact anyone. So yesterday, Senator Mercado Kim posted on her webpage a new link to, where's my paper? I don't know why I do it. But there's a new link that you can go to. It's on the Department of Labor unemployment benefits. And in there, you can get the information you need regarding your claims, because it's like they set up a new server. At least that's what I understand. And it's got a new link. So you can't use the Department of Labor. See if I can find that. I have about 500 pages of research on my desk. Here. It's a new website. It's called HUI Claims, HUICLAIMS.hawaii.gov. And that's the new claim insert. It's for claim where people couldn't get in through before. They set up a new server. And that's what she said. If you go to her website, she has it still posted. And it's 24/7. And if you go to that location and you click on the button for new claims, they can do a form. Otherwise, there's a section called check your claim status. You can check on that, check on your claim. But do not click on claimant services, because you go in there and send you back to the old server. And you never get a response back. Now, what I've been telling people, call me, get off the internet, use snail mail, get some stamps, get an envelope, and write the letter to the Department of Labor, to Unemployment Compensation Division, seeking help and asking for help, because those letters are getting answered. Because you know how computers work, the emails stack up. So, you'll get the most recent one first and not the old ones. So I've been telling people, write it. There's nothing wrong with a letter. I even tell them send a return receipt requested, because they're receiving their mail and they're signing for it. So at least you'll have proof that you got your claim in. or if it's not your claim, at least get status and have them write to you. There's nothing wrong with mail. All right.
Mhm. Okay, so you say that's huiclaims.hawaii.gov.
Yeah, it's HUI, HUI, claims, CLAIMS, one word, .hawaii.gov.
Okay, and don't hit that other button you said, or it'll send you right back, right?
Yeah, don't hit the button that says claimant services. As soon as you hit that, you're doomed.
Okay.
And
And
then
you know when
it says check your claim status, will tell you your status of your claim.
now for those that you know that went through snail mail, the regular mail, you're saying that they're getting answers relatively quickly,
Yes,
like what, within less than a week?
yes, less than a week.
Wow. Well, Mel,
Maybe this new website will help people get answers. Most people are calling me and say, I can't get an answer on my claim. And I tell them, I can't help you. I don't know what to tell you. Until yesterday, Senator Kim came out with this. So I called him up and said, look, try this. And I said, did you send your letters out? And those that sent their letters out early said they got a response in writing that their claim was approved.
Can you hear me, Randy? You still can't hear me, huh?
Just barely.
Go ahead, Mel.
Yeah, let me get up. No, the problem is the people that originally applied online, and when they converted the system, they were told to go back and refile under the new website. When they do that, it comes up as a duplicative claim, so they go into a separate batch. And any errors on their application, online application, again, goes into another batch. And that is the problem. So some of these people haven't seen a check and it's been 5 weeks or 6 weeks. So maybe the snail mail, because you get a human, the online system has algorithms that kick claims out automatically. The snail mail forces a human to go through the application. So I can see why that would work much better than online. But overall, I mean, this system needs to be fixed. We don't know how long more this is going to last, and we got to get our people paid.
I don't know if you ever used the computer system for filing for unemployment, but it's confusing. I've seen people get denied because they clicked the wrong box because they weren't sure what to click. So they clicked the wrong one and their claim was denied. And it took a while to get the denial of the claim. It didn't give enough reasons why. And you can then ask for reconsideration. You know, you have unemployment's very quick. You got 10 days to do something. Normally I tell people file request for reconsideration right away the next day. And also file a request for an appeal of the examiner's decision, because sometimes examiners don't have all the facts and they make mistakes too.
Yeah, and oh, no, I lost my train of thought. Son of a gun. What the heck was I going to ask?
Well, let me ask him this, Randy. You know, I guess a lot of these people, because they go in and out, you know, the claims, they get denied, they go back in. You know, it seems like almost like a ping pong effect. They're bouncing off the walls. Because the system is so backlogged, and I guess the state can't do anything about it right now. With all the claims that are out there, and you as a legal attorney, the possibility is they probably won't be able to get to them all before this thing is over, correct?
That's what I think is going to happen. That's why I'm telling people, use the mail. At least the mail, you'll get some type of response in a reasonable period of time. But you know, you guys know computers. You just look at the emails you get. The most recent emails at the top. You open up the page, there it is. Unless you change the settings to have the oldest email come up first. Well, you know, the people they got working, they're not gonna have time to go change settings. Whatever it's set on, that's what they're gonna look at. And the trouble is that there wasn't enough computer screens for people to look on. They should have let people do this reviewing from home. Use your home computer. You know, I have people like me, they should say to all the lawyers in town, look, we need your staff to use their computers to help us respond to these unemployment claims. Because we all have powerful computers and powerful servers. We got good software. A lot of people don't have that, and the state doesn't have it. They've now got a better system set up, but still terribly backlogged. I don't know how to get clear the backlog up. It's horrible.
Yeah, I was
Absolutely.
I was watching Representative Okimoto's town hall meeting tonight, and she had Linda Coit and Ed Case. But apparently, what's going on is normally the state requires you to apply or try to find. You got to go look at 3 places for a job. You got to put in 3 attempts to go look for a job. There was also a waiting period. You also needed to submit a resume online. That's all been waived. But if you check no on submitting your resume, or if you check no that you didn't submit applications to 3 employers, then you get kicked out of the system because they haven't made that adjustment on the system. So basically, their advice is that you got to lie. You got to say, yes, I did upload a resume, and yes, I have asked or submitted applications at 3 job sites for work. But if you're not watching the town hall meetings from Representative Okimoto, or if you haven't watched our show with Linda Coit, you don't know that. And who the hell would think you should lie on a government application? So that's a problem in and of itself. You know, after Iniki, you had FEMA down here. They set up their sites where you could go and apply for assistance. Why? And we're asking the wrong person. We can't get an unemployment person here on our show. Obviously, it ain't coming. But wouldn't it make more sense to have put out these sites, these mobile sites where people could come using PPE and turn in their paperwork or turn in a little unemployment card? Wouldn't that make more sense than having 700 people in a convention center with an antiquated computer system that simply doesn't work, and then having our people waiting 2 months for them unemployment check?
Oh, I agree. They should set up like they do for in-person voting. Set up the same way. Set up every school cafeteria, because all the schools are closed, right? Get the volunteers in all the school cafeterias around the island, and have the people from unemployment train volunteers to come and accept the applications in person. Then they can review and say, oh, why did you check no over here? You got to check yes. That would cause all these applications to go through. People don't know. I don't know if you ever applied for unemployment. I have, because I want to see what it's like. It's a nightmare. I got denied, and I'm a lawyer.
Hey, Randy.
Maybe I'll apply tomorrow and see what happens.
Randy, do you have the
Yeah.
address for the unemployment, or where would you tell the people to send a snail mail? Which address do you use?
There's one for each island. I printed that out.
You know what? I'll post it on the thread, Charlie. I'll post it
Yeah.
on the thread.
Okay, that's right,
It's
Randy.
on the, if you go to Department of Labor,
Yeah,
Unemployment Compensation Division, they have a list of the various field offices. I'm sorry I printed it out because I knew you would ask me that question. I'm not sure what I did with it.
okay, no problem.
Oh, here it is. Okay, so like for Kauai Claims Office, you want to write this down?
Yeah.
Sorry, my face is all over the place. The address is Kauai Claims Office, 4370 Kukui Grove Street. 4370 Kukui Grove Street, Suite 3-214. And that's Lahui, 96766.
Okay. So everybody out there, for the unemployment claims for Kauai, it's 4370 Kukui Grove Street, Suite 3-214, Lihui, Kauai 96766.
That's correct.
Okay.
You know what that is? That's a government office, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
office building for the state? Yeah.
No, that's an offshoot office that's located by across from the Kukui Mall, Kukui Grove Mall. Yeah, it's away from the state building. It's kind of it's where HMSA is located here up on Kauai. It's in that area. but thank you.
But if you want these, you can go to, well, I don't have the link, but anyway, I found it on going to the Department of Labor,
Mhm.
Unemployment Compensation Division, clicking on field offices, and then all the offices came up.
Okay.
So you should send it to your local office. Now, interesting on appeals. So people, if they make an appeal because they were denied, the Employment Security Appeals Referee's office is in Honolulu. However, you can file the appeal at your local office and they'll still accept it. But you got to do it by snail mail. Don't do it online because if you miss the deadline, your appeal will die too.
Oh, okay. Okay, folks, if you got that, make sure you do snail mail, because if something happens with your email, everything goes down the toilets. Okay. Hey, Mel, any other questions?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, have you heard of any cases where employees were laid off, sent home, business closed down because employers wanted to avoid paying unemployment? Have you heard of any of those types of claims coming around?
Yeah, to be honest with you, that's a false rumor. Every day you work, you get a paycheck. The employer has to submit money to the unemployment compensation division to their account. So when you work, they pay in. Now, some employers don't pay in, but there's a special compensation fund to pick up those deadbeats. But normally when you work, so the fund is funded before you get laid off. They don't pay anything out of pocket at the time of layoff because all comes out of that fund. And there's many employers paid into the fund and no one ever collected. So that money went into a special fund to cover contingencies and take care of things like something like this. So they have more than enough money. If they didn't have money, and I wonder, where'd the money go? Did the state take it and use it for other purposes, put in a general fund? I don't think so, but there should have been enough money to cover everybody. They keep saying they're running out of money, so I don't know what's going on.
So if there is an employee that feels they were let go because and they cannot collect unemployment because of the separation, that would be a legitimate claim, a civil claim against the employer?
You got to file though. It's so screwy. You got to file the department itself to get a claim investigator to go out and investigate the employer about your claim. You can't just go sue because you have to exhaust your administrative remedies. And there's a provision of law to cover that.
So the first stop would be unemployment. Obviously, you would file an unemployment claim, and then the unemployment claim would have to be denied before you would have a.
That's right. And once it gets denied, you automatically got to file that appeal. You have to file the appeal, and then there's a division you can write a letter to saying, "Hey, this employer screwed up. He never paid my unemployment taxes to the state. He kept them and ran away with them." Then the investigator will investigate. They can find the guy. It could be a criminal penalty for not paying your unemployment taxes, but there's a special compensation fund to pick up your unemployment anyway. So you won't get hurt if somebody runs away. There's still money the state has, and they got more money from the feds now, so they should be okay.
Okay, hypothetical question, hypothetical. Employer calls the employee and asks the employee, are you planning on coming back to work after this crisis is over? And the employee says, probably not. And the employer tells the employee, well, consider this your resignation, you're done. How's that?
That's bad. If the employer asks you're coming back, you say, yeah, I'm coming back.
Oh.
You got to use the magic words.
Once you said no, it's done.
Well, the statute says if you say you're not coming back to work, that's considered a voluntary quit. Voluntary quits don't normally give you unemployment.
Right.
So you got to say, I'm coming back. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'll gladly buy you a hamburger and I'll pay you back on Tuesday.
Hang on, I'm going through some of these questions over here. Oh, I know there was a question I had from a person that had a job, got laid off. There was a break in service, and then got hired by another company, and then got COVID comes in, so the state shut them down. He didn't have the minimum months of service, so they don't get any unemployment. I thought the state fixed that for people that weren't working long enough
Yeah.
to normally qualify, but during this crisis, I thought they were going to be they were going to be much more lenient on the requirements.
Depends how long the break in service was. You have to work so many hours in a certain given period of time. So if he was working for one employer, say for all the last year, and then he got laid off and they got hired by another employer in January, they got laid off in March, they say, oh, you don't qualify for this employer. But I have qualified under the old employer, so I can collect under that guy's account. So he would collect.
Okay,
But if you're laid
the
off for like a year, if you're off for a year or more, you're
no,
probably not
less
gonna
than a
collect.
year. It was just I can't remember. I saw the letter. He sent me a copy of the letter. It was I think 3 months or 4 months.
Yeah, he should still be able to collect under the old employer's bank
Okay,
because he qualified under that bank. Like if you're laid off for 5 or 6 months, normally you lose your qualification. You have to rebuild your bank. You have to work so many hours with another employer or the same employer.
so that unemployment bank that that employers never use, that's got to be a pretty big account.
That's why they call it a special fund. But I think by law, those special funds can be tapped by the governor in emergencies where they can take that money and transfer it to the general fund. That's what I understand. I've never seen it happen, but I'm sure it could happen.
Yeah, I thought they require the legislature to basically approve it in legislation, but all depends, I guess, how that special fund is set up. And during emergencies, I don't know, governor's powers get extended quite a bit, so we'll see. All right. Any other questions for those of you out there? For Randy here. Again, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate that.
Hey, Randy, let me ask you something. There's been, I guess, a lot of provisions made to, people worry about rent, that kind of question. So there was a special provision made where, I guess a landlord cannot just kick you out, especially during this period of time. Have you had anybody asking for consultation on that, where a landlord went after somebody to remove them from a property?
Oh yeah, there's no law says you can't kick them out, but there's no courts open to file the complaint to kick them out.
Okay.
See, all the district courts where summary possessions are handled,
Yeah.
those courts are shut down. You can file a complaint online to kick somebody out, but the court won't send it for a hearing until after June 1st.
And then normally when you serve papers, it's something has to be stamped, correct? When you're ready to serve the papers on someone, right?
Yeah, you file a complaint in the court. Everything's electronic now. So you file your paperwork electronically. The court electronically stamps it, you print it out, and you give that to the sheriff, and the sheriff goes serves the complaint and summons. And then you can file an answer online, but they won't set the hearing date. Normally on a summary possession, when you get served, in there it says, you shall report to the court on the second Tuesday after the 2 days after service or whatever. There's language in there. Well, they can't set those hearing dates. So you can file a complaint, but you can't serve it because you don't know when the court's going to open up. So you sit on it, you hang on to it, but you can use it to scare the tenant, saying as soon as the court's open, I'm going to kick you out. They're still going to have 45-day notice minimum, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then
So-
I think most judges will be lenient saying, you can't kick them out. They had no income. You got to give them a
Right.
chance to catch up. Now commercial tenants are different. But same process. They still can't kick out a commercial tenant because they can't get in to get a court hearing, but they can file the complaint summons.
So now, with some people having difficulty getting unemployment, checks in, I know some been almost a month now, they haven't received anything. So those who have like car payments due and they get leaned on by, I guess, the lien holder, right? They're leaning on them for payment. And can they, or is the process of repossession still what you just talked about with landlord tenant type of thing? Do those lien holders have to go and file paperwork and all that?
Depends what your contract says. Some contracts say if you don't pay your money to the car loan place, they can physically pick up the vehicle and take it. They can have a repossession without a court case. But there's very few of those around anymore. Normally your loans are financed to the big banks, and then the banks sell it to somebody else. So if you don't pay your car payment, the chance of someone coming to repo it, pretty slim right now. I don't think anyone's going to be doing it. But once everything's back to semi-normal, they're going to say, hey, you got to catch up on your payments. And if you don't, then they'll have to go to court and ask the court to issue an order to allow them to repo the vehicle.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
I've been telling people, contact all their loan companies, banks. I said, contact them, tell them your situation. I think about 80% of people I've talked to said they did that and the banks gave them a break. Mortgage companies, they won't forgive the money you owe them. What they'll do is they take it and pop it on the end of your loan. So if you had a 30-year loan and you're in year 20, you're out payments for 3 months, you're not gonna have a 23-month payment to make up. Others have saying, okay, we'll give you forbearance, but as soon as things get back to normal, you got to pay an additional $500 a month to pick up what you didn't pay. Some of the loan companies that have cars are doing the same thing. They'll say, okay, don't pay us, but your loan's going to be automatically extended for another 30 days, 60 days. You know, it's that much more money before you pay off your loan. But everyone I've talked to they've been lucky. No one's doing anything to kick people out and take their vehicles. Yeah.
Okay.
I think most of the the creditors are being very helpful. I know a lot of the car people that I've talked to said that they're just deferring payments for 3 months, and it like you said, they'll pay it back, but it'll just extend the loan. Here's a question: can taxpayers sue the state for paying state workers for not working and not helping to get the unemployment insurance claims processed?
I don't know if I want to answer that. I might want to run for governor. No, the state has to allow you to sue them. So there's a special statute in Hawaii about lawsuits against the state. The state wants to run its business stupid. It's probably okay. You could sue them. You can be call it like a private attorney general lawsuit. You could sue the government on behalf of the people, asking the government to do something. But there's always a lot of constitutional questions about that. Normally, if the AG doesn't do anything, you're gonna have a hard time doing something. So what you normally do is try and set it up. First of all, you write to the person in charge of the state, be the governor, and to the attorney general, saying, you screwed up, you did this, and 100,000 people are suffering. And I want the attorney general to bring a suit against the state for screwing everybody up financially. The AG is not going to write back saying, no, we're not going to do it. You're going to get blown off by the governor or the mayor. Then you go ahead and file your own private attorney general lawsuit as a class action on behalf of those people that have been harmed.
Okay, you heard. That sounds like a hint. Do you receive $600 back? I think it's a retro to $600 a week. It is going to be paid back retro to the beginning. That's what I heard on the news. Doesn't a landlord have to give you 45 days notice? He already answered that. Yes. I think we're all caught up with the questions. Let's see. Yeah, I think a lot of the questions are repeat questions. What about tenants who have money to pay their rent, but is using this problem not to pay the rent? Landlords have bills to pay. I think you answered that as well. You can still kick them out. You can move, you can start the process, but you cannot get a court date.
You can't get that
So,
order for the sheriff to serve them or the police to serve them to kick them out. So they're going to sit there. You know, a lot of landlords, I know several, they're suffering because they can't get money from the tenants, and they understand the tenants don't have the money, and they're just going to lose money. But you got to remember that when they file their tax return, and they don't get these owners, when they file their tax returns, they don't get paid. All that they don't get paid is a loss in their tax returns, so it's going to reduce their gross income. So they'll get benefit out of it. It's just not immediate. Like right now, you know, they have bills to pay too. Especially those landlords where you pay rent and includes your utilities. Those landlords are suffering
yeah.
because there's no forbearance on utilities. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that weird? You know, I mean, the banks, the car companies, the credit card companies, everybody is really being flexible, but not the utilities, man. The hell no, you pay or we cut you off.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
bizarre.
there's law now said you can't cut someone's utilities off unless you make an effort to set some type of payment. So the old days you just go and turn it off. Today you cannot. So it's a
Oh, really?
penalty.
Well, you know, another thing too, I've been here, I guess in a stateside, they've been kind of getting, thinking outside of the box, you know, with these deposits that a lot of people put down on their rental. They put a deposit down. And I see some landlords are taking part of that deposit to kind of defer and take, because usually the deposit is owed to you at the end when you check out, right? If you so decide to move. And some of the landlords are taking the deposits in lieu of to kind of help out that way. Have you heard of anything like that being done here locally, Randy?
Oh yeah. Many landlords are taking that security deposit and they're going to use it now to hope they can weather the storm because they're not getting a monthly rent payment. Now, if they get their monthly rent payment, they cannot take the deposit because the law says you cannot. That deposit is supposed to be segregated and kept aside so you can give it back to the tenant when they move out. But if the tenant's not paying their rent, landlords have been tapping that fund to pay rent or to pay utilities. But you know, I don't think any tenant's going to be mad that someone did that. Instead of kicking them out, they took the deposit money. Yeah, I think it'll be all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I
that
mean,
$600 that's coming out. I was discussing with my friends today. They said that they think that $600 that people are going to get, some may get it even if they're not on unemployment. Because the way the statute's written, it's not clear. You have to be on unemployment, not be on unemployment. It's like a stimulus check, this $600. So it may be that you don't have to worry about it, that you're going to get the $600 if you're not on unemployment. Or you applied for unemployment, got denied, you still might get the $600. It's very interesting. And that $600 is non-taxable. So everyone knows it's considered credit on your income tax. So you don't have to pay taxes on it.
wow,
It's not considered income. Yeah.
well, that's good news. We'll see if I get my $600. I doubt it. I doubt it. Well, we were at the 8 o'clock hour, Randy. I want to thank you very much for stopping by and sharing some of these tips, because I think we got a lot of people that are out there. You know, the problem is there's so many different sources of information, you know, and things change every day, and the frustration builds every day. And we have people that have been trying. They hit the auto dial constantly for 3 days, 4 days. They can't even get through. Last night we had Representative Lynn DeCoit, and she said, "Oh no, they have this phone number." I said, "Try call the phone number," and of course the office is closed. We cannot even have extended hours for this. This is really pathetic. You know, they'll never catch up. In fact, this pandemic will be over before some of these guys get their first check. and the harm, maybe, people may not be able to recover. So it's a scary thing, but thank you for sharing your information. And I think the biggest tip today was, I hope all of you caught it. Send your claims in, or any communication to the unemployment office via snail mail. Send it the old fashioned way. You'll get a quicker response. And do me a favor, people, those of you that have been waiting for 5 weeks, tomorrow get that out and let us know. Let us know, because I think that's probably the most beneficial thing we can do now.
Another place for help is your legislative reps, your senators and your House representatives. They've been very helpful for people. Senator Mercado Kim posted it. I saw, God, I can't remember his name right now. He's a good friend. He's the only Republican senator in the Senate.
Oh.
Favela.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kurt Favela.
Kurt
My buddy,
Favela.
buddy. Anyway, Kurt's always trying to help people. He called me up several times. I told him about the snail mail. He was having people collect the paperwork, and they were walking it down to the Department of Labor because he's a senator. They'll accept it from him. But if you go down yourself, they'll say, no, we're closed. You can't come in here. But the senator could have his people go down and get the mail in. Well, I would say just send it return receipt requested, or, it costs $15, I think. But at least it got in. If you have an inquiry, like what's the status, do the same thing. Send a hard mail, send snail mail. The old way sometimes works better than the new way.
Well, for one thing, the new way ain't working.
That's
The new
true.
way ain't working. So snail mail might be the solution. That's awesome. Awesome. Charlie, any questions for Randy?
Well, I am so, it's been a while, but for those of you out there that know me, know that when I give high praise to somebody, this guy that's on with us tonight has been like a brother to me through thick and thin. We go all the way back into the 70s when he was with the National Labor Relations Board for the district, for the Pacific region, right, Randy?
Right.
And
The whole Pacific.
We had our first case where I was a Teamster business agent back then before becoming a cop. And boy, was it interesting. I got to say it, to say the least. But, folks, I think what I took away from this is that sometimes you need the legal help. And like I said before, hey, put the pride aside, because sometimes you're going to be navigating some really bumpy waters and you need some help. Go and get the help. Put the pride aside, because sometimes there's information out there you might not understand, and getting legal advice is probably the best way to go. And sometimes you're going to get a simple answer like mail it in. Don't stay off the internet and just mail it in. And those kind of things will work. So I just want to say thank you, my brother. It's always a pleasure to see you, man.
You're more than welcome. And also, I didn't mention, but all the union members out there that got laid off, use your unions to help you. They should be setting these things up to help you too, so you get your applications in. Yeah.
Yep.
And get inquiries. That's what unions are there for, to help their members. And make sure you know your union contract on a furlough versus a layoff. Furloughs are considered temporary. Layoffs are considered permanent. So if you're on furlough, you're supposed to get a call back. If you're on layoff, a permanent layoff, as a laid off employee, you have no right to recall unless you have a union contract. And union contract will say that if you're laid off for less than 6 months, you have a right to recall based upon your seniority and your job classification. So union people are a little bit different. They have some better benefits.
Yeah, you heard that, union people? Check your contracts. Know the difference between a layoff and a furlough. He just said it right there. He just made it perfectly clear, the difference between the two. So I think it'd be beneficial for you to know that. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of your union. That's what you pay union dues for, right?
That's right.
Add them up. All them union dues. Now's the time to cash in, man. Just now's the time to cash in. That's what
Yes.
they're there for. All right, Randy,
All right.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We are going to be signing off, but Charlie,
Yes.
go ahead, Charlie.
Randy.
Explain to Randy what we do.
Well, Randy, what we do every night is we try to flatten the curve, right? Going into this whole thing, this pandemic.
Right.
But you know, some people just find it very, very hard to conform with being a team member. So Mel and I came up with this, and we said that if you're not going to help us flatten the curve, then we're going to help you flatten your ears, and by playing this song for you right now. And then what we try to do is try to get everybody on board. So hopefully they'll pull together. Right, Mel?
Yes, right.
It goes something like this.
Take it away, Charles.
Night, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Look at his face. Look at Randy's face, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, we got Johnny Gordinez, president of the Kauai Farm Bureau. A lot of resources out there for farmers and for all of us. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Find out where you can get support local. No need go Costco. We can go to our local farmers and support them and supply our house with food. So anyway, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Johnny Gordinez. Thanks, Randy. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Randy.
Stay safe. Take care. God bless. We love all of
Take
you.
care. God bless you guys.
Take care.